Good morning. Today is it is July 29th. We're in the last weekend of July. I am in the Bowtie area of Vermont, and we are following up on research from last year in here. We are ironically not alone today. I had a conversation on Facebook with a fellow researcher who's going to be doing kind of a night shift tonight. So as part of my intro to the video, I'm going to wish him luck and hopefully he has some happy hunting. And when I was walking in here to the area to my left shoulder, some kind of sizable wildlife just moved off, so I'm gonna leave the camera on for the potentiality of a moose picture or something like that. And I'll also allow for the fact it might be a bear, because it was something sizable. Could be Bambi too, but we are going to get moving and get this puppy done and see what we find. Come on along, let's see what we do find. Thanks. Okay, so the first hitch of the day. We are up here, and normally I would go down there and follow the periphery of the pond, but due to the lovely beavers, kind of like same thing that happened last year, it's flooded. So my initial part of our journey is going to be on the high ground, following this trail. I don't see any point in descending yet because your feet are going to get wet, and you have a kind of moose trail through here going this way, so we're going to do that. And so the day's already off to an interesting start. As I mentioned before, not a network member, but a person I know from online, as far as I know we're on good terms, is going to be in the general area later doing some night op work, and I want to wish him luck again. His name also Mike, but I don't know what his desire for publicity is or isn't, so I'm going to respect his privacy at this point and leave his last name out of it. And it looks like I can go down from here, although it's a little steep. But he's going to be doing some thermal work later with hopes of seeing something from the road. Myself, I'm taking a more immersive pattern like I normally do, and I'm going into the Bowtie area, which means I'm going into the middle of nowhere. And I have had track finds out here before, probably of number 3, as I named that particular specimen, and we'll go from there. I'm kind of debating how far this overland moose trail goes versus like... I just had a rock throw right in front of me. I'm going to descend. What the hell is that? Is that a rock, or it's... Definitely just had an impact in the water. Okay, that's the second thing that made the day interesting. Yeah, we're going to descend and have a closer look. I may take a quick segment break just to go hands-free to get down here, but... Okay, what was that? No, something swimming. What is that? Ah, shit, I'm missing it. What is that? It's a beaver. Okay, I take that back. It's a beaver tail slap. I just had a beaver tail slap. He's not liking me being here, I guess. Well, too bad, Bucky. I'm going to be here for a bit. So I'll go down there and see if I can get myself a photo op with him. I'm going to take a segment break for some wildlife photography potentiality, and we'll go from there. I'll be back in a second, but I have to go hands-free to go down this loveliness. I'll be back in a bit. I got him on the other camera. I don't know if I'm getting him, but the beaver is just kind of sitting out there and just kind of taking in the day. And that alone is kind of cool. He's moving around still. He's kind of like swimming in a circle. He's not really doing much. He's big though. I got him figured at like 3 feet long, including the tail. So I'm going to keep going. I got some video of him on the phone, and we're going to be on our way and leave Bucky to his own. He's over. Maybe he's going to get up and pose for us. Maybe we'll do that. Hold on for a second. No, he's just kind of enjoying his pond. He's got it all nice and high, so he's enjoying his little swimming pool. We're going to leave him to his swim time, and we'll be on our way then. Later, Bucky. That's cool. I don't usually get wildlife encounters on directly on the camera, but right there you got Mr. Beaver. Let's see if we can get him again. That's as much zoom as we got. I don't know if I'm getting him, but I'll hope I do. He's just kind of milling around and enjoying the day, so we'll leave him to do that and be on our way through this area. And there's always a potential for, ow, what the hell? I'm getting like spiked by branches and whatnot. I'm trying to avoid. The trouble is I still have a little issue with my knee, so I'm trying to be careful. And on the one hand, I get spiked in the head with a branch, and I got a horsefly determined to be my friend. And as I was saying, a couple of hitches is with Bucky's handiwork. The number of jumpable spots makes the approach to the greater meadow we're heading towards a little more interesting. I'll have to decide whether I want to wait or not. But let's see what the nature of that situation is. If I get over there, there's usually like a jumpable spot where I can get to the other side that I need to get to in order to move on in our journey today. May not seem it, but this, Jesus Christ. Because you have uneven ground and you can't always see where your feet are. This is more of a physically challenging hike than it might look like. But testimony to Bucky's handiwork. There's 2 layers. There's this one and then that one. So I guess this is like the, the receiving area where he receives his guests before we get into the pond proper. But this would actually probably be unpassable if he didn't have that there. So I guess we owe him that thanks. We're going to get up into this and maneuver where it's a little bit easier. As I was saying, the one guy is going to be here later tonight doing some stuff, so hopefully he'll do something like that. But I'm going to leave his full name out of things because I don't know what his privacy desires are, so I'm going to leave. I don't know if he's a publicity hound. I'll plug him because he's one of 2 guys that operate in the greater southern northeastern region that actually have a good head on their shoulders for the subject, and they're not pushing like the more nonsensical crap. Unlike the Hudson Valley group, which I'm sorry, if you're a woo proponent, I'm not. And they solidly are. I find them a wee bit hard to take seriously in some of their stuff. The minute people start talking about little people, you're delving into. So I'm not going to badmouth the little people thing out of respect for Native American culture and folklore. But as for like taking it seriously as part of my reality, I need to see it. And I have, in 21 years of doing this, yet to see that. If I do, dare to say it might wig me out a bit. especially if they're pukwudgies and are in a bad mood. That can be bad for you. The funny thing about pukwudgies is, as the Indian folklore goes, they're helpful if they're in a good mood or you're respectful. If you piss them off, however, not so much. They get grumpy with you. They'll turn nasty pretty quick. So if you happen to see one, be nice. But as with other forms of Algonquin and other tribal little people, I have yet to see any, so that is not as of yet a concern. But as far as community-related stuff going on, if there's a trend for the season, and this is like at home as well as in the woods, skeeters are a bitch this year. And so, kind of make of the day what you can. Alright, so I think I know how I'm going. I'm following the stream, and at some point you jump the stream again and you end up getting closer to where the meadow is, and then we kind of have to gauge how flooded the meadow is or isn't to see if we can get in there. There have been times when it's just been so damn flooded it's a no-go. But today seems to be a to be determined. But this looks like an irrigation made by erosion kind of thing. So I'm wondering if there was flooding in here from recently. Doesn't look like it, but it's definitely pinier in here. Get off me. Where is the jumping stream? I think I'm being thrown off by those two down trees over there. So next week, the other Mike that I previously mentioned is going to try to meet up. Maybe we'll do a collaboration of sorts. So I guess my jumping spot is under that tree. So we're going to use this one because you got all of this to jump over. It's basically wet rocks. And we'll continue. Actually, I'm talking more about the actual job at hand today than gossip, because it's more relevant to what we're doing. I just don't like that I can't see my foot placement again. And yes, it is a mild OCD in the woods. So I seem to mention that often, but we're up. So I'm trying to think of anything else. People have been whining about skeeters, and they have been bad, so I'm not going to belittle their thoughts on the matter. Move, because they're not wrong. Hi, Toad. Toad hopping by. Alright, so I don't remember. There's like a mud spot I gotta traverse here, I think. Unless it's all water. Yeah, it's looking wetter than usual, actually. Let's either go through this or through that. Let's peruse this for a moment. You know, I see moose tracks, and they can usually be indicative of how crappy this is going to be. What I think I'm going to do is, because if you go into this shit right there, you're going to sink up to your knees. I'm not doing that. I'm going to try to ford this shit, but I need hands-free again. So there might be sporadic segment breaks like this one. We'll be back after we're through this. Okay, we're back. We've covered this amount of territory. We are in the second meadow comprising the bow tie and entering an area affectionately known as the nubbin. And we are going to go check for tracks in some muddy spots in the immediate vicinity. So far, we've had a tail slap that I over exuberantly considered a potential rock throw before, but the reason I went in that direction is I literally saw nothing there. It's like birds don't just like go and do an impact in there. And then I looked a second time and I saw the motion of swimming in the water. I'm like, how much you want to bet that's a beaver? Which it is. So before you assume Bigfoot, yet again, look closer, take the time, do some deductive reasoning, and it usually is going to end up being something a little bit more or less otherworldly, shall we say. Less Bigfooty. Hello, toad number 2. Second toad of the day. And that's the case. I have to cover a little bit more foresty trail here of questionable squishiness, for lack of a better word. We're going to step on this stick to avoid squishiness, usually culminating in wet feet. This is basically what we're walking on. It's walkable, but it's uneven, so you got to kind of watch your step, especially if your knee is a little tweaked. So far, so good. I haven't done anything to it, but I will have to do some mild climbing to get back to the trail that takes us in and out of here. But all right, so here's a muddy spot. I don't see any immediate non-undulate looking potentiality. I can't help but think I'm going to probably get my feet wet to some degree here. Oh yeah. Step on that, get over there. And hopefully not sink up to my, okay, I didn't sink up to my knees. That always has unpredictable circumstances. This is actually a good test of my knee too, because it's not really getting, you don't have the ability to gauge every nuanced move through here. But we're almost back to open ground before we start working our way back. I have to say I like this area a lot. This is always an interesting hike, even if the squatchy factor comes up empty. You always end up, this is an interestingly weird spot. I kind of have to gauge. I wanted to walk over there, but I'm looking down. I can already see the water. There's like a stream or something over here, if I remember right. I have to walk up and through this stuff, and then I can descend. If this charming log will stop trying to trip me up. I'm trying just to see where my feet are being placed, because there's sort of a trail if you can see it, but the thing is you can't. So if I can just get like that through that charmingness. My advice going through stuff like this is put your foot down, if possible, tentatively, so you can see where you're placing things, and you can see where we're popping out over here. There is initially solid ground, and this wet spot I guess I can get around by going around here. This is what I'm talking about. Do that slower so you can actually see it. And most of it is fairly solid, actually, from past experience, unless you can hear the stream. You cannot see the stream. That's the fun of this. I have not yet, to my credit, fallen into a hidden stream in these things, but it's not impossible to do. Again, this is what I'm talking about. But this is all, there's like all this silt in here to kind of filter out a lot of the potential contaminants. So this is a good potential area for apish looking folk to come in and for a drink if they are cognizant of Giardia and that kind of thing. There's a second one here. Oh, criminy. What? I'm trying to remember how I did. I think I did this. I just walked along this and it kind of comes to this little thing here. And I can hop here. And you land on kind of like the pebbles I'm talking about. And then we're going to go check over here. Get a little unwanted spider passenger off my hand. The thing about hiking out here in areas like this, you just need to get over bugs. They are out and they're probably crawling on you. Probably have like three spiders on my back right now that I don't know about. But you know what the thing is about that? Am I complaining about them biting me? No, because they don't do that. My significant other has a friend who is of the notion that she's getting bit by spiders at night, and I'm trying to explain more than once. Spiders don't go out of their way to bite you unless you agitate them. And even then, a lot of them are going to try to like ball up and not get squished. Notably orb weavers. Because when I've probably told this story before, but when I've gone into Manitou, there's a patch of pine trees that are thick as thick can be, and you quite literally on a good day will be picking orb weavers out of your hair. And a lot of people are skeeving, and you will skeeve the first time. What you'll also learn is they kind of ball up and they hope you don't squish them. They don't bite as a rule. And even if they did, their bite doesn't even rate like bee sting bad. I highly doubt that their bite like rates is even like bad as a bee sting. You see, I want to jump over here, but the last time I did that, I sank up to my goddamn knees in mud. We're not doing that. I am not falling for that again. I'm assessing if I can jump this. If not, this is probably as far as we're going to proceed, because all I see is like sinky mud. And the nature of the terrain over here, just to make... Don't take my word for it, have a look for yourself. Is kind of like all thick and uphill and up there. While you have the means for probably a decent campsite and observation over this, it's all loose leaf litter and the chances for tracks up there are minimal. So I'm not going to prioritize those. I'm going to walk over here and check over... Sorry. Back to center. Over here and see if there are potentially any tracks. If not, and I don't see any, I think we're good. So this is the nubbin with a big toothpick in the middle of it. It goes like that, and actually over there, this patch of trees is more like an island than actual forest. You can go around behind there and do like a big circle where you have basically more of this stuff. But it is a cool area to be out here and see that. But we're going to start working our way back. So we're going to ford those two streams, get back into the tree line, and then start our way back. And I'm going to again take yet another segment break so I can kind of be hands-free again, just to pay attention to the less than visible foot placement in this place. And we're going to get on our way back. I'll walk over here, give you a nice view of some pretty meadow flowers real quick. If you can see them, nice little yellow, not daisy looking, but yellow mountain flowers. And part of what makes being out here so nice is just when you have time alone with your thoughts in a place like this, because the thing about this hike, from the end of the trail on, there's like no litter. There's no sign of human contact out here. I have a Zoleo going right now, so if I did have a mishap and needed to call for help, I could. I would expect to overnight in here before somebody found me, though, because when you say that you have, when you try to describe where the hell you are, good luck with that. You're like, I could give the junction number, and then I'd say, yeah, you take the trail that's past the last campsite, and then you go and you hit this certain meadow, and then you're just like, and I kind of went around that and into the meadow system, and I'm on the third one over. They're not going to know what the hell you're talking about, so you might have to just suck it up and crawl out and curse the whole way, which would suck on a magnificent level, but you'd probably get some new swear words out of it. Anyway, on that sick note, we're going to say hello to that bumblebee who's doing a wonderful job pollinating and saving the world from non-pollination. And we'll be back in a bit after a lovely segment break. If nothing else, we'll probably check in on that beaver on the way back. But we will be back in a bit again. Okay, we're back and we're doing something a little different today. Normally, we would have slogged through a bunch of swampy shit like this over there and come out over there. Today we're kind of trying this, which is a little bit more, if nothing else, dry. It's still kind of a pain to maneuver through some of it, but it's at least dry. And basically on the way out, we would be over there on the other side of that, so we're not really off course. And there comes a point, if we just stay parallel with this, where we'll hit a point where we can jump the stream and come back over on the other side where Bucky was, our little beaver buddy, if he's still swimming around. And we can manipulate our way back, although this is about to get thicker, so I may be wrong. I'm kind of looking at what's over there. But let's destroy this poor spider's house and see what we're up against before we... Yeah, we'd be on the other side of... How walkable is this? If I can get out of that. I think we'd basically be on the other end of this stream right here. So if I can walk this on this side, this might actually be a lot, much less sucky than the other one. There's a couple of full patches of shit, but we're still more or less in the right direction. And then over there, I think, is the jumpable spot, and then we maneuver back over that way, and sometimes I remember I'm holding the camera, and make our way back. I don't know if this is a better video or not, because this one's been more kind of like hike play-by-play, because the terrain is a little bit more bitchy, but let me kind of get a sense of where we are relative to things. I'm not wrong, I just got to get over. If I can maneuver around this and then go over that sandbar, I should be in the neighborhood I want to be in. Now, let me figure out how to do this. I think I can do this without segment breaking. Ow. So I'm getting stabbed by branches. If I go very shite, useful while you're trying to trip me, if you don't mind. Up and around. And then carefully down here. You're not going to break on me. You may. I guess. Fuck. Okay. Less than gracefully, but we're down. And I think we'd normally jump the stream over here. So I was just kind of safeguarding my knee a little bit, which is seemingly okay. And then yeah, because the pond's over there, so I think we're good. And that way, my observation is that way takes a little bit longer, but less swampy goodness. So, doable. Maybe a new way to go through this in the future. So I'm going to get over here. I'm going to get my bearings. I am going to take yet another segment break, maneuver to where the pond is, figure out where I got to climb up, and then what would be ideal, and I'm saying that this here not to set it up, if Bucky were to be swimming around peacefully, he'd make for a nice segue out. And this is actually, I jumped over there. This is actually where I would have normally crossed over. And as I said, we're like basically right back where I would have been in that one area, minus the actual bottom of the water is actually more solid than that sucky mud was. But we're back, almost to the trail. And I'm going to give a segment break here, and then when I get back, we will see if Bucky's around for a outro. But for now, okay, this is going to be where we wrap things up, looking back at where we just came from. Little minor mountaineering to get back up and out. And we're going to call this one a day. We didn't find any definitive tracks. There were plenty of moose tracks. We did see a beaver slap his tail and the like. And like, subscribe, leave comments as you feel the need. One bit of news for people that like listen to the channel like in a lurker kind of way. I started a Discord for the Northeastern Sasquatch Research, Northeastern Sasquatch Investigative Network. Sorry, Nezra, no plug for you. And if you're interested in getting an invite to that and you want to like have an environment where you can speak on the subject more candidly, because it's kind of like an invite-only thing, then give me a PM on Facebook or comment in the section on the YouTube channel, and we can talk about that. Until next time, however, like, subscribe again. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will catch you next time. Bye.